Tampa Bay's 2018 campaign has gotten off to a rough start, facing American League East rivals Boston and New York to open the new season. Today, the Rays look to turn it around in the wrap-up game from historic Fenway Park. And we greet you to the fence section of Boston, where this afternoon the Rays will clash with the Boston Red Sox, wrapping up their four-day, three-game stand here against their American League East rival. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Rays looking for a win anywhere. They've dropped 7 in a row. The Red Sox have won 7 in a row, and on this road trip, opposing shortstops have been a problem, including the one here in Boston by the name of Bogaerts.
Listen, Xander Bogaerts is having his way with the Rays pitching staff right now here in 2018. He is 11 for 24. That's going to work out to a .458 batting average. And what's more disturbing than that is the fact that 9 of the 11 hits have gone for extra bases. 7 doubles, 2 home runs. Any mistake out over the plate, he is making the Rays pitching staff pay for. And how about this? One last disturbing number. He had more runs batted in the first 2 innings of yesterday's ball game than he did in all of 2017 against the Rays pitching staff. That has to stop.
And in regard to the pitching staff, the matchup today, it will be the left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez on the hill for this Boston Red Sox ball club. He had some knee issues last year, required some surgery in October, and for the Rays, a bullpen day. It will be Andrew Kittredge to start this one on the hill for the Rays. Back with the first pitch in a moment. Rays in Boston, where it's 39 degrees. Stocky caps are out. We will get into the 40s, so it's a warming trend here before the afternoon is over. And the Rays are certainly hoping that the offense, their offense, can warm it up a little bit against the left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez. We'll take a look at the starting lineups presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Matt Duffy's going to lead it off, followed by Kevin Kiermaier. Hitting third in right field will be Carlos Gomez. C.J. Cron, the DH. Daniel Robertson is at second base with Brad Miller at first. Jesus Sucre will do the catching. He'll hit seventh in front of the shortstop, Adeiny Echeverria. Rob Refsnyder in this game will hit ninth and play left field.
Yeah, and Eduardo Rodriguez will be making his first start here in 2018. You see the numbers from 2017. He went 6-7, ERA of 4.19, had off-season knee surgery on his right knee, recovering from that, and will be activated, obviously, and out here going against the Rays, a team in which he has, in his career, 0-2 with a 6.57 earned run average in 5 starts. Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense and see how it's going to line up here behind them. Brought to you by Goldan Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, got J.D. Martinez, Andrew Benintendi, and Mookie Betts. And across the infield, third to first, Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts, Eduardo Nunez, and Mitch Moreland, with Christian Vasquez behind the plate.
Well, the Rays will play this one and then continue this road trip, moving on to Chicago, where the weather, at least for the next couple days, will not get any better, and finally get home the following weekend. Kevin Cash and the Rays 1-7 to start this year, and Matt Duffy is going to lead off this game. Duffy hitting .226. They face this left-hander Rodriguez, and his first pitch is a strike call, says Bill Miller, the crew chief of this umpiring contingent. Miller working the plate. The pitch is away. 1-1. When Rodriguez is healthy, and they think he is now with that knee issue, he's not afraid to pitch up in the zone. Wide of it here, 2-1.
Well, you can see already how that sets up. You run that fastball, that four-seam fastball up in the zone, change eye level. He's got a good changeup down and away to the righties. They play off each other very well. There you see it.
Now 2-2 on Duffy.
The beauty of those two pitches too is they set up each other. You can use the elevated fastball to set up the changeup down and away. You can get a guy looking soft away and down and then run the fastball up and surprise him like you just did.
And that pitch close. The count is full. Rodriguez a couple years ago, a 10-game winner, 10-6. Just 25 years old, turned 25 yesterday, out of Valencia, Venezuela. And he strikes out Duffy. Fastball takes care of the Rays' third baseman.
That was a great job of foreshadowing on your part, Dwayne. Setting up Eduardo Rodriguez, fastball up. He goes right up there around the letters. Strikeout number 1.
Kevin Kiermaier back in the Rays lineup, a little under the weather. And general fatigue, and back in there today. Pitch low and away. He's off to a 2 for 28 start. One of 7 against this left-hander. Pitch is wide. 2-0. And a strike now. 2-1. 2-2 count now on Kiermaier.
Well, let's look at a little scouting report here on Kevin Kiermaier. What you're talking about, Dwayne, a slow start, 2 for 28 to start the season. There's a reason for it, and he has seen a lot of elevated heaters out over the plate, and obviously that hand's not feeling too good after hitting the ball off the end of the bat, but teams have really been going after Kiermaier with fastballs middle of the plate up, even, you know, up and in. And he's just not been able to lay off that pitch, and he's not been able to get to it, and that's where really that slow start stems from.
So he's back in there, and the 2-2. Tapper foul. And that is strike 3 call. So 2 up, 2 down. Duffy out swinging, Kiermaier out looking.
Boy, how about this pitch by Eduardo Rodriguez? A front door little cutter. You start that pitch off the plate in, the hitter gives up on it, and all of a sudden late cutting action takes it right to the inside corner. That is a filthy pitch.
So 2 up, 2 down, and now it's Carlos Gomez.
Well, you think about Eduardo Rodriguez, Dwayne, being on this staff and being able to watch Chris Sale and David Price go about their business and how they set guys up and how they pitch.
Well, there's a lot to that, you know, to have teammates you learn from. It's one thing to have a great manager and a great coaching staff, but I think you probably know better than most of us how important it is to have teammates around you and you feed off each other.
Yeah, and you bounce things off of each other. You know, you may ask, you know, questions. They may offer some insight.
That pitch didn't miss by much. 2-1 the count. And wide again. So 3-1 says Bill Miller. C.J. Cron would be next if Gomez could keep the top of the first going. Big cut right there by Gomez, trying to put the Rays out in front by lifting one out of here. And he fouled that fastball back.
Went down to a knee. 3-1 fastball. That's what hitters dream about. Turning it loose like Carlos Gomez did just right there. And not able to catch it.
Fouled back.
I guarantee you that Eduardo Rodriguez watching David Price with these cutters. You know, a little front door cutter to Kiermaier, trying to backdoor it right there to Gomez. That's a huge pitch for David Price. He does a great job of going to that pitch once he's established the inside part of the plate against a right-handed hitter. He gets them looking in there and then sneaks that pitch backdoor.
In on Gomez, he pops it up, foul ball. Moreland's after it, but he runs out of room. And this at bat will continue for Gomez. And the 3-2 again, and it's fouled again, short of the dugout.
Well, he has tried a little bit of everything here with Gomez. We've seen the changeup down and away. We've seen backdoor cutter, fastball away. He's run 2 heaters in a row now in. giving him a lot to think about here in his first at bat. And I think he's going to end up going with the changeup. He shook the fastball off that Vasquez had put down initially and went to the changeup. You see right there.
And he got him. Swing and a miss. So he strikes out the side on 3 different pitches, actually. Bottom of the first coming, no score. Bench right there for Boston. He'll be leading it off. Lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Benintendi will follow, and then Hanley, Ramirez, Martinez, Bogarts, and Moreland. Mitch Moreland down the middle. Nunez, Devers, and Vasquez, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters.
Well, Andrew Kittredge, his 3rd appearance, 2nd start of the season. 0-2 record, ERA 3.18 in 5 2/3 innings of work.
And the first pitch, Betts takes it for a ball. 3:45 start for the Boston right fielder. Shoots it into left center field. Well tagged and high off the wall. Rebounds to Kiermaier, and into second base goes Betts with a stand-up double to start this one. His 3rd double. And just like that, the Red Sox have a man in scoring position.
Well, Andrew Kittredge is trying to establish that strike zone early and catches way too much of it right there. That ball, it was down, but it was middle down, and Betts just goes down and swipes it high up off that wall in left field. And Boston off and running once again.
Here's Benintendi. Pitch is a strike. Kittredge took the loss in the 12-inning game here on Thursday. Gave up a run, 2 1/3, ground ball right side. And Robertson makes the play. Over to third goes Betts.
Well, let's go ahead and set the Rays defense for you here this afternoon. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield left to right, we have Rob Refsnyder, Kevin Kiermaier, and Carlos Gomez. And across that infield third to first, Matt Duffy, Adeiny Echeverria, Daniel Robertson, and Brad Miller. Jesus Sucre gets the call behind the plate.
Well, the Rays will shift the infield to the left side and pull it in with Hanley Ramirez stepping in.
See that right there. That's
Ramirez goes after the first one and fouls it back.
I attempted to use the telestrator there, Dwayne. It's been one of my favorite toys here in the early going.
And it will continue to be.
Yeah.
For good reason.
The telestrator that we have at Tropicana Field,
Yes.
A+.
Yep.
It's the best I've ever used. May travel it.
Inside, 1-1. Well, it was Ramirez who got the game-winning hit in the 12th inning on Thursday. Came with Yarborough in the game, but the run was charged to Kittredge. That handed him the loss in that 3-2 decision. 2-1 the count.
Andrew Kittredge has a very good slider, hard slider, and he loves to throw that pitch to right-handed hitters. They see that, they see that pitch more often than they see the traditional fastball.
Yeah, his overall pitch breakdown is heavy with that slider compared to the fastball. Once in a while, maybe a little two-seamer.
Coming out of the bullpen, and most of the time, even on these bullpen days, most hitters are only going to see him once. So a couple of good sliders and retire them, then and move on. You don't have to have such a mix.
Foul ball straight back and out of play.
He's not going to be called on to pitch, 5, 6, 7 innings in an outing where you've really got to mix and match your pitches. He can go out there and think, listen, this is the only time that I'm going to face this particular hitter, and I'm going to give him my best stuff, and if that's the slider, so be it. And then Kevin Cash will mix and match from there.
Full count to Ramirez. After the pitch up and fouls it back. Well, Betts, third base. Full count on Ramirez. The Rays have Robertson in at second on the first base side of the bag, down to short, and a thought about going to the plate by Echeverria with the infield in, and decides to go to first. The run scores. A big chop, and that put a little indecision into the mind of Echeverria.
It was two things, Dwayne. You're absolutely right. The big chop off the bat, and then the break by Betts. I mean, he got a great break on that ball off the bat, and you could see Echeverria wanted to go home and just didn't trust that they were going to be able to get the result. As he left his feet to field that too, you'd had to reset him and make a strong throw to a guy that can run well.
J.D. Martinez popping it foul. Will be back into the seats.
Boy, that just goes to show you, when you're running on contact, it's all about the break.
Yep.
And if Betts doesn't get a tremendous break, then he's either out at the plate or he can't run. Because the Rays got exactly what they wanted, a ground ball to their shortstop with the infield pulled in, and it didn't matter.
They would foul out of play, 0-2. So the Red Sox break out in front with a run in the first, where they struck early in yesterday's game with a 4-run first before the Rays knew what hit them. It was 8-2. Rays had scored 2 in their first, and the Red Sox answered with 4 in the first, 4 in the second. A ball, 2 strikes. Into right, a line drive. Gomez is there to make the catch. A run on 1 hit. We're at the end of an inning. 1-0 Boston.
Yesterday, infielder Daniel Robertson got to live out a dream. He came in and pitched an inning, and actually it was a perfect inning, 11 pitches, and we talked to him after the game. Take a listen.
All right, all jokes aside now, I mean, it was fun. Coming out of the bullpen, you're in Fenway Park, you're in the big leagues. They got Sweet Caroline singing, and now I'm going up there to step on a mound for the first time since I was a senior in high school. So, yeah, I mean, getting up on the mound, it was weird, a different view from in the batter's box, and honestly, it was just trying to put the ball over the plate and not be all over the place and walking guys or whatever. But I mean, obviously, it worked out in my favor. So.
Well, if you are wondering, I did ask Kevin Cash if he is available to pitch today. The answer was a firm no. Dwayne?
Well, after that performance, you think he might be available on a daily basis if you need him. You hope that you don't need him, but nice to have him out there.
Very nice, but I think, you know, with him making that transition, probably not back-to-back right out of the gate, so you give him a day, and we'll see about tomorrow. But, yeah, how about that? He came out there and, you know, showed some pitching acumen, you know, some sinkers away, a little changeup off of that, set the changeup up, you know, set it up well.
And just to come right in and throw the changeup.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 68 miles an hour off of about a 77 fastball, but just to do that effectively the way he did, that's impressive.
He's got to improve the arm swing. He's got that short arm, you know what I mean, that infielder arm path. So there's more velocity there.
I was going to say you might add
a few
miles per hour.
Doesn't, you know.
C.J. Crone on a 3-1 pitch, nailing it deep into center field. That ball is gone. Home run to straightaway center for C.J. Crone, and that's his first in a Rays uniform. So the Rays get right back on the board and tie this game on the home run by Crone.
Boy, that shows you his power too. My goodness.
Boy, before the year's out, the Rays think they're going to see a lot of that as they try to ignite this offense. Went down and got that one.
Yeah, how about that? That's a 3-1 fastball. Obviously, that's what a hitter wants. I mean, we saw Carlos Gomez in the first inning in the swing that he took on a 3-1 heater, and Crone was able to go down and get that ball, basically was shin high, and drive it out to center field. Andrew Benintendi really didn't even go after that ball. He knew off the bat how well struck that was.
So there's the home run. Crone breaks into the home run column.
It's a good feeling. New ball club.
And a quick answer to the Boston run in the first. That's a strike. You know, especially after Rodriguez came out in the first, was so impressive. He got Duffy on a fastball, Kiermaier on the cutter, and then the changeup struck out Gomez. Crone strikes for the home run. Robertson takes it low and outside, 2-2.
You know, the interesting thing about that is, as impressive as that first inning was, he at one point was behind every hitter and still, you know, managed to come back and get it. But you continue to pitch that way.
And started that one a little wide, caught the corner for a called third strike.
Boy, another perfect pitch and set up very well. That's what he's capable of once he gets you to 2 strikes and if he's pitching ahead. And Daniel Robertson still thinking that pitch was off the plate away.
Brad Miller will get a start here against Rodriguez. 6 prior at bats against him without a hit. Strike 1.
Changeup. How about that? First pitch changeup in the first time that you've seen a hitter in the ball game. I mean, that is advanced scouting. Knowing Brad Miller wants the fastball, will cheat for the fastball. You give him that on the inner half for the first pitch, and he pulls right off of it.
And a tap foul.
And now if you do come with 94 or 95, it's going to look like it's 100. Kurt Schilling used to say that with Gary Sheffield. He's like, I just go up there and throw him a couple off-speed pitches in to start the at-bat. He'd hit 2 lasers over the dugout, but I was ahead of him 0-2. take advantage of those guys that want to turn and burn on heaters.
He goes away with this one. Fastball, it's 1-2. Yeah, and as you point out, the knowledge, the forethought that goes into that, you know the type hitter you're dealing with. A lot of times if you open with a changeup, you're changing off of what?
Right.
But you know their approach. And it is indeed a changeup because they're hunting the fastball from the get-go.
And it's
two count here on Miller.
That's absolutely true. You see sometimes the changeup, you go to it too soon, but you're doing that with a different type of hitter, and you're now doing him a favor. Oh boy.
Strike 3 call.
That was the Kevin Kiermaier pitch. Front door, little cutter. And Brad Miller doesn't like it because, again, out of the hand, he reads this pitch off the plate in. Boy, cuts right there at the very end, close enough to the edge that he gets the call from Miller. But that is an unhittable pitch.
So all 5 outs have come on strikeouts. Jesus Sucre. And that pitch is in there for a strike. Sucre chops it to Bogaerts, who makes the play. Well, the Rays get on the board on a home run from C.J. Cron. 1 run, nobody left on, and we're at the end of an inning and a half, tied 1-1. Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by W.B. Mason. Cuba W.B. Mason, the official office supply company of the Tampa Bay Rays. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Xander Bogaerts will lead off here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Moreland and Nunez to follow. Andrew Kittredge starts him with a fastball for a strike. Bogaerts hitting .371. A couple of home runs, including the grand slam here yesterday. 7 doubles. 1-1. There was talk last year about his lack of extra base hits and of power. Well, he has started this year making a statement.
Yeah, apparently he took that to heart because we talked about it in the open. He's 11 for 24 off of Rays pitching, and 9 of the 11 hits have gone for extra bases. That probably the biggest one of them all. That effectively put the game out of reach yesterday. Part of that 8-run outburst in the first 2 innings.
Kittredge ahead of him. That will wind up out of play. Well, you take a look at the leaderboard in runs batted in. Didi Gregorius had that big series against the Rays. He has 10. How about Justin Smoke over in Toronto with 10, and then Bogarts and Carlos Correa each 9. Liner into left will drop in front of Refsnyder for a base hit. Line drive single.
It's not often that you see an outfielder get handcuffed by a one-hop line drive. That's how hard that ball got hit. That ball handcuffed Refsnyder. And Bogarts right now just locked in and taking advantage of every mistake made.
Well, last year they thought he was hitting too many ground balls. That's not the case this year. Long fly balls and hard hit line drives so far. And here's Mitch Moreland lifting a high fly to right, not too deep. Ball caught by Gomez. Nunez, Eduardo Nunez will be up there. You know, part of Bogart's issue last year, remember he was hitting the hand by a pitch, and as memory serves me, it was Jake Ferreira who hit him in the hand, and he struggled with that for a while. Well, he certainly squared the deal yesterday, facing Jake with that 2-run double and then the grand slam home run. Eduardo Nunez, a ball, no strikes to him.
Getting word that the line drive into left field off the bat, 106.8. It got out there quick. Rob Refsnyder will tell you that.
And when it's hit right at you, boy, that quickly, it's tough to get a good feel for the flight of a line drive like that anyway. There's no depth to it from one side to the other. It's just right at you, that hard. So easy to be handcuffed out there, just trying to stop it some way.
That's it. You feel like a goalie or like a catcher with a ball in the dirt.
Now that's a 3-0 count to Nunez.
It won't take these hitters very long to realize how slider heavy Kittredge is to the right-handed hitters, and so they're going to see it. If they don't see it, you know, a hanger, they're going to spit on it and not chase it, force that pitch off the plate, and try to get a fastball.
Swinging there, 3-0 on a fastball that wasn't the greatest pitch for him. It was in on him a bit.
It was straight. That's all he wanted. Yeah, that ball did kind of crowd him a little bit.
3-1.
Go right back to that slider and hope that he hits something on the ground.
Full count now. Runner goes on the 3-2 pitch. Skied into right, not overly deep. Gomez waiting for it to come down, and headed back to first is Bogarts.
So far, so good here with a little damage control after the leadoff single.
And falling behind Nunez.
Yeah, all the way. 3-0, comes back and gets him. And now you've got a tough hitter here, Rafael Devers. You think about that home run that he hit yesterday on a slider that was working its way down and in to him.
.321 average in the early part of this year for Devers, the young third baseman. Had some bite to it.
And how about Kittredge said, you know what, I'm going to go right back down there anyway. That one had a little bit more bite than the one that he hit out of the ballpark yesterday. Watch this thing take off. And that's where you got to get it. You can get that pitch to dive underneath the swing, but you have got to be good with your location.
And a pitch on that outside part of the plate. Picking up the corner. 0-2. Did he go? He started to. And a check, says Alan Porter.
See how close it is. Could have, absolutely could have rung him.
Ryan Yarborough on deck. 2-2. Rays have Yarborough and Andriese available. So he's getting loose down there in the bullpen. Two to Devers. Chops this one into the Red Sox dugout. Betts opened the first with a double. He scored on a ground ball. Bogarts opened the second with a base hit. Still at first with two gone. And a 2-2 count on the hitter Devers. He got him. Struck him out. First strikeout for Kittredge, and a man left on base. On to the third. A 1-1 ball game. supposed to be somewhere near the mid-40s. Our Toyota inside look over this 7-game losing streak the Rays find themselves mired in. They've hit just 193 and averaged 2 runs and 1 run losses. A major frustration for the Rays. 4 of the 7 losses by 1 run.
And you know what gets magnified when everybody goes south at once? Yeah, I mean, there's really nobody in the lineup that's clicking. So you're having trouble up and down your lineup, and on top of that, it's right out of the gate at the beginning of a season. And you go through a stretch like this in June, it stinks. Don't get me wrong, but way more magnified when you come out. You know, they talk about you can't win a division in April, but you certainly can lose it. And 8 games into a season, the Rays are 6 games back.
It's a strike. Well, it matches their worst start to 8 games in the franchise history. They did it in 01 and they did it in 11. And 1-7 right now. As we mentioned the other day, 2011, they wound up winning 91 games that year in the recovery, 91 and 71. And the Rays, when you get in a spot like this, you know, you can't make it up all at once. You do it game by game, inning by inning, and really pitch by pitch and at bat by at bat. Two on Echeverria.
It's about winning those individual battles. That's what it comes down to. And you really got to lock in. You go with that mind, you know, the thinking of enough is enough.
Yeah, that's why every at bat has to be a focused at bat. Every pitch has to be a focused pitch.
With purpose. I mean, make a pitch with purpose. Go up with, have an at bat with a plan. Be willing to adjust if need be. Understand what the pitcher's going to try and do to you. And
Echeverria fouls off the fastball.
I'll tell you what, it'll also be nice to get out of this, you know, week and a half long trip through the top of the American League East with New York and obviously Boston. I've played them 7 times, the Yankees twice, and get on to some.
Yeah, these are the 2 teams that a lot of people were picking to slug it out for the top of the East. Down to first, and Moreland's going to make the play unassisted. So you knew right from the beginning it was going to be a challenge. You start the season 9 games in and play just these 2 teams. And the Rays now head into Chicago after today, take on the White Sox, then come home Friday to meet the Phillies, Texas in, and Minnesota. And then right back out on the road against Baltimore and back up here in Boston again. Refsnyder fouls it back.
I'm happy about the return to Boston within the month because I'm going to be able to pick up one of my cufflinks that I left in the room.
Well, you know, you have so much you travel with, like 5 or 6 trunks, and it's easy to overlook one coupling.
Well, yeah, I blame the Apple Watch. See, I walk to the ballpark, you know, from the hotel to Fenway, and I want to get the little activity. Well, with the cufflink on, you can't get to the watch.
Yep.
So you take the cufflink out, put it in your pocket, then you can set the watch, and off you go. And I was in such a rush this morning that I got here, and I'm like, I don't remember putting that cufflink in my pocket. And
that's a pretty good recall, though. You remembered leaving it in your room on the dresser.
Was able to direct housekeeping to the cufflink, and they have it in storage waiting for our return. Very happy because it was a gift. It was a cufflink that was a gift from one of our fans in Europe.
Yeah.
So
you want to hang on to that?
Yeah, have to hang on to that.
Yeah. If you lose it, they're not going to give you a replacement. And it's hard to replace one here. You're going to have to make a big trip to get it.
Yes.
Refsnyder fouls it back.
And that won't be happening for the next 6.5, 7 months.
Yeah, we'll be making enough trips in the continental U.S.
And I'll tell you what, the Rays have some interesting trips this year.
Well, I've thought not only is it a tough start here, 9 games with these two teams, but you know, between the two of us, we've seen a lot of baseball schedules, and the schedule maker did the Rays no favors at all with this schedule in terms of miles and trips and a short stay here across the country, back home, then back across the country. It's not a schedule that gives the Rays any kind of edge at all. A check swing by Refsnyder. The count is 2-2. I'm sure at every point, you know, we've all felt there were tough spots in the schedule, but this one just consistently has the Rays all over the country all the time, in and out, back and forth, long trips and home for a short stint. Oh, a close pitch right there, and Refsnyder takes it for ball 3, full count.
My favorite, I think the one that really is the best example of that is the trip that takes us, we go to Baltimore and then Kansas City and then Anaheim to play the Angels. It's a 3-city long road trip in 3 different time zones, and we're working our way further away. That trip, interesting to say the least.
Got a bat there by Rob Refsnyder to draw the walk. Come back, and he's aboard with 1 out.
How about Rob Refsnyder working all of these walks here in the early going?
Yep.
I mean, he's down there at the bottom of the order and has worked his way through some very good long at-bats and gotten on base. We're looking for anything to kind of jumpstart this offense. A good at-bat here, move a runner there.
Matt Duffy, top of the order, getting his second look at Eduardo Rodriguez today. Shoots it foul the other way. Now the home run for Duffy came here Thursday. Hit it 410 feet to center field. This one is down. We'll take a look at that home run on a 1-1 pitch in the 8th of Thursday's game.
Carson Smith trying to come in there with that sinker, left it up, and Matt Duffy got into it.
Hit those covered seats out there in center field. Tarp during the day games here. Fastball misses. It's 2-1.
So here's the breakdown, Dwayne, on Rob Refsnyder.
Yep.
He's 0 for 4, 10 plate appearances. He's 0 for 4, 6 walks.
Yep.
On base of 600.
Yeah, how about that for an on base percentage?
With no hits.
Yeah.
There you go.
Little tapper. See if Duffy can beat this one out. Long throw, close at first, and they just get him.
They're going to want to look too. You know that's part of the game now.
Rodriguez, a long throw over to Moreland, and it was very close at first.
He was so deliberate coming off the mound and going to get that, basically a swinging bunt, that I was in the same camp as you. It looked like Matt Duffy was going to have a good chance to beat that out.
Yeah, and Kevin Cash wants them to take a look at this. Duffy hanging around first base. So we'll get a closer look here as this play will be examined. Ball in the glove or not? Oh, he's safe.
Absolutely safe. You know, and you wonder too, with Eduardo Rodriguez coming off the mound as deliberately as he did, if he's thinking about that knee. You know, this is a knee issue that's been plaguing him basically since early in 2016. He's had problems with that right knee. That's the one that you have to plant as you field that ground ball and then turn it and throw. And he was very deliberate. And I think that allowed Matt Duffy time to get there. So not making a quick break, and very deliberate right there. And that's what gave Matt Duffy the time.
Yeah, Duffy absolutely in there. Rodriguez had the surgery last October on that knee. It had been an issue throughout the season. So Ref Snyder is up at second base, and Duffy reaches on an infield hit. So they overturned it on the review. Two men on here in a tie game in the third. Here's Kevin Kiermaier. Called out on strikes his first time up there on a cutter. A difficult start for Kiermaier at the plate. And he misses the fastball up.
That's the pitch. Eventually, these pitchers have made their way there. Fastball, it's 91, right out over the heart of the plate, but just above the zone or at the top of the zone. And that's the pitch that's been giving him fits.
A bit too much there as he holds up. Cora looking on, the new manager of the Red Sox. 2 on for the Rays and a 1-2 count on Kiermaier. Tracks this one low.
You know, those fastballs up, if you can have the discipline to take a few of those pitches, then pitchers will start to move into different areas where it will benefit you. But that right now is the tough part, to be able to lay off of it and take it for a ball.
And now a full count. So he's missed up, he's missed down, he's missed away, and the count goes from 0-2 to 3-2. Walk to Ref Snyder, the infield hit by Duffy. 1 out, full count on Kiermaier. And Kiermaier is out on strikes. Strikeout number 6 for Rodriguez.
Came right back with that front door little cut piece. This one had a little bit more break to it. Starts it in off the plate. Kiermaier actually had a good swing at it, but again, it's able to sneak over the top of it. Frustrating.
And it'll be up to Carlos Gomez if the Rays are to take advantage of this third inning opportunity. He struck out on a change, a 3-2 change. Fouls the fastball right back. Strike 1. Well, we've seen Rodriguez here in the early stages when he goes 3-2. He's used the fastball 3-2. He's used the changeup 3-2. He's used the cutter 3-2. And there's a fair ball up the right field line. Here comes Rev Snyder around third. He will score. Duffy hits third. They'll stop him there. It's a double for Gomez, and the Rays take the lead. It's a 2-1 ball game now on the second double of the year by Carlos Gomez.
Boy, and almost an excuse me type swing by Carlos Gomez, but boy, that ball was placed very nicely up that right field line. Pitches up, kind of a little half swing, does get barreled to baseball, and finds grass.
Yeah, there's a pitch up, probably out of the strike zone, but finds a good spot for it, and the Rays take the lead.
Playing pepper. You know, you take a full swing, you're not getting to that pitch. Not that you want to see Carlos Gomez take that type of swing very often, but when it leads to a run and a lead, take it.
Now 2 men in scoring position for C.J. Cron, who got the Rays on the board with his first home run of the year in the second inning. He fouls it out of play up the right side, going after the first pitch fastball.
Let's take a look at StatCast. 110.5 miles per hour, just a 21-degree launch angle. That is a bullet line drive home run to straightaway center field.
Upstairs, 1-1. Rays a run in the second on the Cron home run. Now another run in the third, driven home by Gomez. It's inside. It's 2-1. Two. Back with his changeup, and he has been able to use that pitch effectively. On deck, Robertson. Pop foul, carries out of play. Well, you put that changeup in play, and it really gives the hitter something else to think about. Especially when you get to 2 strikes.
It slows you down. You know, it's obviously most of the time you may have a curveball that is a little bit lower on the velocity scale, but it slows you down, and all of a sudden you can speed it back up with that fastball. It gives you another foot or two on your fastball. You get a guy leaning on a changeup, and then that 94-mile-an-hour fastball acts like it's 96, 97.
And a cut to miss, and he comes right back with the fastball. That was at 92, but it seemed harder. Rays take the lead. It's 2-1. Rays Flex Pack, the most versatile ticket package in town. Save up to 50% off the single game ticket price and get 5 lower level tickets for $98. For a limited time, get a 20th anniversary pint glass set presented by Dex Imaging with each pack purchased. Visit RaysBaseball.com/flex. Rays up. Well, a new pitcher for the Rays. We move on to the bottom of the third. Ryan Yarbrough will make his third appearance. And he'll be facing the catcher, the number 9 hitter, Christian Vasquez, to lead off the bottom of the third. Then back around to Betts and Benintendi.
You know what's interesting about these bullpen days too is when you think about the way that more than likely it's going to play itself out. Kittredge starts, then you bring in the lefty Yarbrough, then you bring in probably Matt Andriese. You think about righty, lefty, righty, and they're all 3 different styles. So you give this Red Sox lineup a lot to think about.
And through the first couple bullpen days, both against the Red Sox, you look at the numbers, the ERA is 2.21, covering just over 20 innings of work in those 2 bullpen day games. This one, the third one the Rays have employed, 1 and 2. And I really think, all things considered, they'd much rather have 4 starters than 3, and then pop that bullpen day in.
They may have a 4th starter here before too long. Maybe Chirinos.
Yeah, he was very impressive here the other day.
Yeah, I think that's how ideally they would have liked it. And the injury to Nathan Eovaldi was so late in spring training. It was really tough to do anything else.
Yeah.
Unless you went outside the organization, there was nobody stretched out and ready to step in as a full-time starter.
Yeah, and I don't think either one of us would be surprised if we saw Chirinos maybe stretched out a little bit more. 5 outstanding innings here Thursday. Fly ball into left, and Ref Snyder angling in a bit, makes the catch. Vasquez is out of there. And so he very well could be, in a traditional sense, that 4th starter.
Yep.
But we'll see.
And that really, it would still leave you with enough guys to be able to cover the 1 bullpen day each and every time through the rotation. What it will require though is the guys that are going to be deemed starters, they have got to give you innings. They've got to give you innings, and really this last, pass through the rotation, they've not done that as a group.
Yep, Mookie Betts takes a strike. Yeah, Chirinos really stepped in on what was a bullpen day and gave the Rays a big lift with 5 innings. That came on the heels of Blake Snell, just 3 1/3 against the Yankees. And then in yesterday's game, Jake Faria struggled an inning and 2/3. And that on top of the extra inning game that had been thrown in the day before. And you wonder a little bit, the Rays back with a bullpen day today. 2 innings from Kittredge, a run, 2 hits, 33 pitches. Now Yarbrough facing Betts. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. On the ground to short. Chivaria's throw is scooped by Miller. Has done a nice job of doing that recently over there at first. He's had a few of those to handle, and some of them even way more difficult than that one.
Yeah, this one right here, by far and away the easiest one that he's had to deal with. Pretty routine ground ball, and Echeverria just a little bit short on the throw, but Brad Miller. A little flare right there with the scoop, letting them know, hey, get the throw up.
Benintendi swings through it. Yeah, you get a few of those under your belt, showing a little flair on the scoop.
Getting a lot of practice.
This one is wild. Not exactly wild, more wide than anything. 1-1 to count.
You know what? I thought that qualified as wild. Sucre had to go out as far as he could to make the catch.
Line drive going to be caught out there by Robertson, and it's a 1-2-3 third. Ball game heads into the fourth. The Rays hold a 2-1 lead. On the flashback, today's Geico great moment. It was on this day in 2015. Brad Boxberger on the mound, closing out the first victory for Kevin Cash in his Major League managerial career. Starting it with a 2-0 win at Tropicana Field over Baltimore. Here we go into the fourth inning with the Rays holding a 2-1 lead. Daniel Robertson bounces one foul. Eduardo Rodriguez in the mid-70s now in pitch count. And the Rays, with this lead, they've led after only 6 different innings so far this year. And this would be the 7th. There is a strike. Robertson, Miller, and then Sucre. Yeah, it's 1-1 now. Robertson did check. Scoreboard has 1-1, but it's 0-2, so we were right the first time. A little tapper foul. Action in the bullpen now. This Boston Ball Club. It's the right-hander Velasquez. A little tap. That's going to be tough. Barehanded pickup, but no place for Devers to go, so he'll pocket it. And Robertson, hustling his way down to first, has an infield hit.
Boy, nobody had a chance on that play. Just like the Matt Duffy base hit. This one here a little closer to the line. It's going to be able to get by Rodriguez and force Devers to come in. A swinging bunt, perfectly placed. No play to be made, and the Rays get that leadoff runner aboard.
Brad Miller. Inside. Miller with a home run and 4 runs batted in. It stays a little close. Miller is up in the count, 2-0. And now it's a 3-ball, no strike count. Well, he was ahead of Robertson 0-2, and then he got the infield hit. Now down 3-0 to Miller, and Sucre is on deck.
And you wonder how much longer Alex Cora is going to go with Eduardo Rodriguez. He has Hector Velasquez warming up in the pen.
And ball 4. There's 2 men aboard. A 4-pitch walk to Miller. Sucre is due up. Came into the game 2 for 3 with a home run in his career against Rodriguez. Grounded out to the shortstop his first time. There's a high chop to short, comes up on Bogaerts, and he's going to have to go to first out there. Well, that ball came up on him and handcuffed him. It appeared there was a chance for the double play there until it popped up on him. So the Rays advance the runners to second and third, and Sucre is out short to first.
Boy, fortunate here for the Rays, because that would have been tailor-made with Sucre running. And as quickly as that ball got out to Bogaerts, but you see it get up to the belt. He let that thing get into the middle of his body. That takes away the double play. And
a great chance for the Rays. Infield comes up. And here is Echeverria about to step in. And this one is popped back of first. Moreland digging for it. Cannot quite catch up to it. Well, just off the mid.
He catches that, and the Rays score a run.
That's right. Robertson heads up.
Yeah.
He stayed back to tag and was on his way down the line.
And he was down the line quick. There was no way that Moreland was going to be able to turn and throw him out, but great effort trying to get there, and just off the tip.
Robertson go back and head down the line. So some heads up play there by the Rays base runner. But Moreland could not grab it. Upstairs to Echeverria. Well, another great opportunity for the Rays. It's inside, 2-1. Fly ball, short center. Benintendi coming in, not going to be able to get there in time. Down the line is Robertson. It was close enough, and Benintendi gave it a pretty good move out there to keep Miller at second base. Kind of caught in between as to whether Benintendi could get there. Robertson, a little different look from third, scores on a base hit. And the Rays have a 3-1 lead.
Infield in. It's going to take them out of the equation. Can Benintendi get there? There's the deke. put the glove up there like you're going to catch it. Try to fool anybody that you can. But a great read there by Daniel Robertson. He was halfway down and able to see that ball safely hit. Rays add to their lead.
So the Rays played another run, lead 3-1.
It puts Brad Miller in a tough spot because it's a tougher read for him. He's closer to the action, and if you do venture a little too far off and Benintendi does catch it, he just runs in and steps on second base and you're done. So he had to stay. He had to stay close, and that keeps the double play in order here.
Rep Snyder, he takes the first pitch out of the zone for a ball.
Or at least the force play at any base. But the Rays continue to put the pressure on Eduardo Rodriguez, who looked like it was going to be a long day after the way that he went through the first inning with all the strikeouts on different pitches.
And the pitch is outside, 2-0. And he's been behind a lot since then.
Yeah, a lot of nibbling. A lot of nibbling. And you know what? He's been prone to do that. The Rays have seen enough of him. We've seen enough of him. Certainly the stuff is there, and he can dazzle at times. But he can also pitch from behind a lot.
Five starts against the Rays, 0-2 with a hefty ERA.
Yep.
Rep Snyder up 3-0 on the count again. Takes one out there on the corner. 3-1. He walked and scored. One out walk in the third led to the go-ahead run. Made it 2-1. The Rays have added one here in the fourth inning. It's 3-1 now. 3-1 pitch to Rep Snyder. Takes a big cut on the fastball. The count is full. And a liner into left on that pitch. Miller was breaking, and the throw back into second sails. Boy, they had a double play right there. Martinez made the catch on the Rep Snyder line drive with Miller breaking, and he was a dead duck at second base.
Boy,
managed to get back in.
How many double plays are the Red Sox going to fumble their way through? The ground ball that got into Bogarts at short, and then right here, Brad Miller, by the time he finds it, he's done. And JD Martinez just sails the throw.
So Eduardo Rodriguez, who could have had a couple double plays behind him in this inning, will now depart. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Introducing the new Florida Times the Cash scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery. Celebrating 30 years of winning with their biggest scratch-off top prize ever, $15 million. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Over 90 pitches, 92 pitches for Rodriguez today.
Now it's those deep counts. It's nibbling around the zone, and as the game went on, he continued to fall behind more and more. And that will cost him his day, and that'll bring in Hector Velasquez. He's on for the third time, did make a start. Looked a pretty nifty 6 2/3 so far with a 1.35 earned run average.
Well, the Rays with a run home in this inning. 2 men on at first and second with 2 outs for Matt Duffy. Duffy goes after that first one and misses. Strike one. The Rays saw Vasquez Sunday a week ago at Tropicana Field when he posted a 2-1 win. And he's quickly ahead of Duffy. A couple of strikes in here to start it. Duffy went 2 for 3 against this Boston right-hander in that game last Sunday. A couple of base hits. Down 0-2 right now. The tapper to third. Devers scoops, and the throw is wide. The bases are going to be loaded, and boy, the Red Sox defensively having some major issues here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, not sure of that read there by Devers. You understand with his momentum taking him by the bag why he wants to make this play over to first base, but instead of just standing there fielding that ground ball and stepping on third, he's going to make that play. But I don't know. He had to go a long way on a ball that wasn't hit that hard. There was really no chance and no play to be made over that. Would have been better off just hanging out by the bag, fielding it, and stepping on third. But you're right, having some issues here.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier, takes the pitch wide.
Think about the extra outs for the Rays in this inning. You like to see him score more than just one.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, they post a hit for Duffy, but a throw on the money gets him. That and twice failing to execute a double play. And now 2-0 the count to Kiermaier. Strike. Kiermaier twice struck out against Eduardo Rodriguez, who had 7 strikeouts. And a take wide by Kiermaier. It's 3-1. Rays have him loaded. A tapped foul. So now the Rays with Miller at third and Echeverria at second. Duffy aboard at first. Will be off with this pitch.
Boy, full head of steam, and Kevin Kiermaier looking for something out over the plate.
Runners go, and Kiermaier fouls it. do all of that again. And a fly ball back into left. Martinez back in front of the wall, and he makes the catch in left on the track to retire the side. Out of that, the Rays settle for one, leave them loaded, and lead 3-1. Rays host the Phillies and have special pregame events honoring Jackie Robinson's legacy. Also a special ticket price for you. 2 press level tickets for only $42 when you visit raysbaseball.com/42. Rays up. Bottom of the 4th finds Hanley Ramirez leading off and taking a first pitch strike down around the knees. Ryan Yarbrough on the mound. It's 1-1. J.D. Martinez next, and then Bogarts will bat. Good take by Ramirez on a pitch down close. It's 2-1. That will even the count at 2-2. Ramirez drove in a run with a chopper to the shortstop his first time. That opened the scoring in this game, gave Boston a 1-0 lead. Rays have come back with single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. And another 2-2, fouled again.
You know, this Rays bullpen day, you know, what it does in theory and in a perfect world is it will force a lot of these hitters in the Boston lineup. They'll get 3 or 4 at bats, and it'll be off 3 or 4 different pitchers, and that's not easy.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason the Rays have gone to at least one bullpen, and in recent days 2 bullpen days because of only 3 full line starters. And in the first couple games, pretty good results in terms of ERA and all the other numbers. Long at bat, Ramirez continues to foul pitches away, excluding today. See the TBA for bullpen days at 2.21. And the opposition hitting 230.
Yeah, I mean, ignore the record. The other numbers are tremendous. You continue to do that, you're going to win those games.
And now ball 4. Well, Ramirez earned that walk by staying alive and fouling all those pitches. First walk given up by Rays pitching. And it comes to lead off the inning. That's never good. And J.D. Martinez will bat against the Rays lefty. Martinez line to right his first time. Ball, no strikes. You know, when you think about it and you look at the numbers by last year in the major leagues, 5th starters in the major leagues had an ERA of over 5. And even excluding the closer, bullpens minus the closer had an earned run average of a little over 420. So there's, at least based on last year, there's a strike call. There's some evidence that would suggest working the bullpen day in once in a while is not the worst idea that you could come across.
Well, no, you have to make sure that there's a buy-in, number one, and number two, that you're going to have, you know, a couple of guys down in the minor leagues that are ready to be called up.
Fly ball into right. Gomez setting up to make the catch. Oh, and he drops it, but he's out. It's on the exchange. So he is out on the fly ball, Martinez, and Gomez trying for the quick exchange. Dropped it. And out to make that call quickly, it was Angel Hernandez from first base, and that was his read on this from the get-go.
Yeah, it was clear, and that ball is clearly in there, and as he goes to pull it out and make a strong throw, it's going to roll out. No question about that at all. Fans here aren't buying it, but that was the right call.
Now here's Bogarts. Pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, I think the idea on that, and you're right, you have to have buy-in. And I think if you get 4 starters, I think, and that was the original plan. 3 starters was something that developed late because, as we mentioned earlier, when Eovaldi went down, that became a little bit of a different animal. But you really got to have buy-in and flexibility and availability of other pitchers down. But the idea of 4 plus that bullpen day once in a while, there's some statistical reasons for doing that.
Yeah, and at the very minimum, you know, the Rays schedule was set up with all those off days early on to be able to run that out there and see, is this going to work?
Yeah.
We have these numbers. We've got an idea of what it might look like in a perfect world, but let's put it into practice and see.
Yeah.
And so it has afforded them, you know, that opportunity, and they can choose to, you know, continue on with it or not. Especially, you know, if Yanni Chirinos emerges and becomes a starter, a more traditional starter. Just have to see where it goes. But the early returns have been encouraging. But think about when you talk about buy-in, and I get it, you're a pitcher, you're going to be asked to go out there and get outs, you go out and you do your job. But a guy like Andrew Kittredge, making his 2nd start, and he knows, I'm a starting pitcher today, I have no chance to get a win. If I do my job and do it well, I'll get a no decision. But I set myself up to lose every single time with no chance to get a win.
Yeah, there's a strike. Yeah, you'd have to think that there would be at least an informal recognition in some way of what a guy, in this case, we're talking Kittredge, of what he gave you. You know, here he is. He's 0-2 coming in. Now he makes this start. Rays have grabbed the lead, so he's not going to lose this game, but he couldn't win it to begin with. So there has to be some recognition, whether it's a new statistic, a new category, or just a general recognition of job well done to help the buy-in, because that ultimately translates into not only wins and losses for your team, but it also has a lot to do with how these guys at some point are going to be paid. And that's an important factor. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball into right field. This is Gomez again making the catch. And that's out number 2 with Ramirez remaining at first base. And what the other part of these numbers tell you is that while the numbers have been good on bullpen days, the real issue, and that gets a lot of attention, but the real issue has been lack of offense.
Without a doubt. You know, the long ball has not been a big factor for the Rays. You know, where last year they set a franchise record in home runs.
Mitch Moreland skying one to center field. Kiermaier's there. So the leadoff walk does not hurt. Ramirez left on base. And we go to the 5th inning with the Rays on top 3-1. Southern Chevy Dealers by Kubota. To find a Kubota dealer near you, go to gokubota.com. And by your local Ford dealers. We're at Fenway Park this afternoon, on to inning number 5. Carlos Gomez to open it against Hesker Velasquez. Gomez doubled in a run in the 3rd, giving him 1 for 2. After this one, and he pops it up. Moreland well off first base there to make the catch. Pitch and 1 out. Now here's C.J. Cron. Cron got the scoring started for the Rays with his first home run. Out to center field. He is 1 for 2. All of the runs against the left-hander Rodriguez. There's ball one. Got ahead 3-1 and launched it.
Boy, how about going down and getting underneath that fastball? A no-doubter straightaway center. Hopefully the first of many here in a Rays uniform.
Well, he looks the part.
Yes.
It's it hard down to third and grabbed nicely by Devers. Throw to first in time. That was not a routine play. And it's out number 2.
Well, you hear that kind of contact, and it's going to get on a third baseman like right now. That's why you call it the hot corner, and Rafael Devers showing some nifty hand-eye coordination right there, making a difficult play look pretty easy.
Daniel Robertson, who opened the 4th inning with an infield hit, takes a strike. One. Well, the Rays scored 1 run in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Had a chance to build a bigger inning in the 4th inning, but settled for just the 1 run. And now bases empty with 2 outs here in the 5th and a count of a ball and 2 strikes to Daniel Robertson. It's 2-2. This went back at third, deep. Devers will skip it in, and it's not going to be in time. Nice effort by Devers, and Robertson has himself another hit.
Boy, hustling up the line once again. Another difficult play by Devers, and he's going to try to bounce the throw over to first base. And I think he wanted to skip it once. That ended up bouncing 3 times and just took enough off the ball that they weren't going to be able to get him. He immediately throws that thing down and ends up rolling over to Moreland. Robertson in with a 2-out hit. You see that guys do that a lot. They don't want to airmail the throw, so they'll just throw a low liner and one hop it to that first baseman.
Brad Miller takes a strike in. Miller is struck out and walked. Out of play the other way. Devers, the only defender on the left side of the infield. Runner goes, the pitch is high, and the throw is not in time. A stolen base going in head first is Daniel Robertson. So Robertson steals his way into scoring position.
Well, the way that he got up the first base line, I'd have sent him too. Kind of sandbagged on the first pitch, didn't have much of a lead, and then there you see him take off. Velasquez not exactly quick to the plate. And the Rays with the lead get aggressive and take advantage. Got that left hand in there, and then you better hold on to that bag because they're going to keep the tag on you. Vasquez behind the plate, one of the better catch throw guys in the game. But Velasquez didn't give him much of a chance.
So a man in scoring position, 2 outs in the 1-2. Base hit, punched through the middle into center. Robertson will score, and the Rays add to their lead. It's now 4-1. Boy, big stolen base there by Daniel Robertson, and a big hit by Miller to follow to give the Rays a 3-run lead. Nicely done with 2 outs to manufacture this run.
This is what you envision from this offense, and it starts with Daniel Robertson hustling up the line and then taking advantage of Velasquez on the mound, swipes second, and then how about Brad Miller gets on top of a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, pokes it right back up the middle, and the Rays continue to add on.
Sucre takes the pitch, and that's a strike. Yeah, it's encouraging to see with 2 outs, an infield hit leads to a run on hustle by Robertson, a steal by Robertson, and a key hit by Miller. The chop headed toward the middle, backhanded, and out at second on the force play to retire the side. More unassisted out there at second. Rays add a run. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay. We're headed into the bottom of the 5th inning with the Rays holding a 4-1 lead, and Eduardo Nunez at the plate. Ryan Yarbrough on the hill for the Rays, and his first pitch is a ball. 2-inning start for Andrew Kittredge. Yarbrough with a couple innings under his belt. That's a strike, 1-1.
Well, and depending on how many innings Yarbrough can give you, you may not see Matt Andrees. You may get to the point where you start to see the 1-inning guys, the back end of the bullpen, the setup guys. With this lead, I guess that would be the ideal setup. Kittredge, Yarbrough, and then a couple of the 1-inning guys, ball game.
Yep.
We'll see. Long way to go.
Little tap. That's a foul ball.
Did you hear? Was that Sucre yell? You could hear it. Get over. And that's just the knee jerk on a ball to the right side. And I don't care, even if it's at the second baseman, that you want your pitcher starting towards first base, just in case, especially with all these shifts on now. Sometimes you see that first baseman pulled way off.
A little bit wide right there. It's 2-2.
There's a reason why you cover first base, 212 times a day for the first 2 weeks of spring training.
Not just for fun, as much fun as it is.
And it takes you a while. You get into your third, fourth, fifth spring training, and you're like, yeah, I get it. I know where first base is, and I know what I'm supposed to do. But they use it as like part, conditioning.
Yep.
15, 20-minute.
There's ball 4. You don't want to do that. A walk to the leadoff hitter. He did it in the 4th and pitched around it. And now leadoff walk to Nunez here in the 5th.
Yeah, bottom of the order, too. And you saw the reaction. It was a great camera shot of Ryan Yarbrough getting the ball back from Supre, and he's thinking right along the same lines. I did not need to do that. But just as quickly as you think that, you got to put it out of your mind and go right back to work. Realize you're one good pitch from getting a double play, maybe.
Rafael Devers in the batter's box. That's a ball. Yarbrough was in the game briefly at the end of that 12-inning game on Thursday. It's a cut and a miss at the fastball. 1-1.
The fastball where if Devers is able to show a little bit more patience, he's now at 2-0, well up and out of the zone.
That's a strike. 1 and 2. Everybody pulled around to the right side for Devers. Outfield and the infield.
See how far Duffy is off the bag.
Pop up on the infield. It's Robertson. 1 away. So Devers is retired. Go to the number 9 hitter, Christian Vasquez. Vasquez 0 for 1. And there's a base hit, shot into right. Nunez will go to second and stop there. Gomez up with the ball near the line in shallow right field. So Vasquez shoots it the other way.
Well, that brings Mookie Betts to the plate. Got a couple runners aboard, and this guy, I'll tell you what, if he takes a swing at a pitch, he very rarely is going to miss that. How about that? He has seen 127 pitches here in 2018. He has swung and missed at only 2 of them.
That's incredible.
I'd like to see those pitches. They had to be filth. He's got such, we talk about how quick his hands are, but that hand-eye coordination combined with how quickly he can get them through the zone makes him dangerous.
Takes the ball. Yeah, he probably sees pitches and waits on pitches as well as any hitter. He's that quick.
Yep, that's what allows you to do it. You can make a decision a little bit later than everybody else because your hands are that fast into the zone. It allows you to get a better read, and you see right here the patience that he's showing. 2 pitches that are close, and he's not going for them. Kyle Snyder coming out.
Now, right here, this could be a critical count in a very important pitch coming up. 2-0 with 2 men on, 1 out. And Betts up here. conference breaks up. Strike down around the knees.
How about that gift? And that's what Mookie Betts is saying. Are you sure that wasn't down? A changeup well below the zone. And he gets the call. And go right back there.
This one down around his feet. 3-1.
Boy, doing everything that he can to keep that ball down, knowing how dangerous Betts is. He's put himself in a tough spot.
Well, a 3-1 count now. Yarbrough at 49 pitches right now. Sixth time a Rays reliever has thrown as many as 50 pitches in a game already this year, and with it he walks Betts, and the bases are loaded. Nunez to third, Vasquez to second. Betts takes over at first, reaching for the second time in the game, and Andrew Benintendi is the hitter. Benintendi grounded out to second and has lined to second. So now it's the Red Sox with a major threat. Tough spot now for the young left-hander, and the pitch is inside. Walks and a single in between, and the bases are loaded. Foul back, that's out of play. Taking the count to 1-1. Nunez third, Vasquez second, Betts at first. The 1-1 to Benintendi. A little wide. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, Yarbrough, he wants Benintendi reaching, whether it's with the cutter away, the slider away, maybe try a sinking fastball at some point, but he wants Benintendi reaching, and he wants something pounded right into the ground.
And that one misses, close, but it's a ball, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, tried to test the patience of Mookie Betts down below the zone, and he wasn't biting. Trying to test the patience here of Benintendi. He's not biting. He's got a 3-1 count to work with. Bases juiced.
Three-1 to Benintendi, and he fouls it out of play.
He's gotten 2 cutters right in the heart of the plate to work with, and has done nothing with either one. This one got to throw a strike, and that, you know, he's not real happy either. How big is this pitch?
Boy, oh boy.
You know, you get the feeling that this could really swing the game.
Rays have had some opportunities to build a couple innings, settling for 1 run. They have 4 runs in the game, leading 4-1. Bases loaded in the 5th, 3-2, and it's fouled again by Benintendi. Again, a 3-2 pitch from the young left-hander. And strike 3 call, he got it. Slipped it over the corner. Benintendi turning around with a parting comment for Bill Miller. And Benintendi caught looking. Big strikeout for Yarbrough.
You're going to see a cutter, and he put it in an impossible spot. You're not going to drive and hurt Yarbrough with that pitch if you swing at it. You just need the call. Nice job there by Sucre, too, to stick that ball right on the edge. Great presentation.
It's Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez walked his last time, drove in a run with a ground ball his first time, and the pitch is a strike out there on the corner away. You go back to Thursday's 12-inning game, it was this matchup, Yarbrough and Ramirez. And Ramirez got the base hit into right that ended that game in favor of the Red Sox 3-2. One strike to count on Ramirez here in the 5th. Takes it low. 1-1. Two walks with a single in between. The bases are loaded. The outs have come on the pop to second by Devers, and Benintendi called out on strikes. The 1-1 to Ramirez. Ground ball, shortstop, glove by Echeverria, second base. He can't hold it. A run scores and the bases are still loaded. Echeverria made the stop and tried the off-balance throw to second, and it was a little bit to the shortstop side. Robertson stretching but could not hold it, and the Red Sox score a run to make it 4-2.
Well, a great job by Echeverria. First of all, he's going to save a run by getting to this hard hit ball by Ramirez. Great diving play. See how high that glove was, and the backhand flip. Not sure if that would have been in time either. What a great effort. And he just trying to get it to Robertson as quickly as he can. A ball that absolutely could have been handled, but I don't know if that would have been in time. That was going to be super close out there at second.
Now J.D. Martinez and a foul ball. So a run is home. It's a 2-run game.
It almost looked like Robertson, as he stretched out for that glove awkwardly, that his glove went too far. Ended up hitting him right in the heel of the glove. But again, I don't know if that would have been in time. I mean, Betts was bearing down.
Martinez twice has gone out to the right side. Line to right in the first and a fly ball to right in the 4th. Up and away. It's 1-1. Take another look at that play at second.
Yeah, watch the flip here. Yeah, he might have been out. That foot maybe a hair short if Robertson's able to handle that toss.
the right side out of play. Now 1-2. Yarborough trying to finish his third inning of work in this bullpen day. 2 innings for Kittredge. And a big spot for Yarborough. Vasquez down at third, Betts at second, carries with him the potential tying run. Ramirez at first. 1-2. The count to J.D. Martinez. And he got him, struck him out. Fastball strikes him out. Red Sox score 1. They leave the bases loaded. And we're at the end of 5 with the Rays leading 4-2. And they open their scoring on a home run by C.J. Cron in the second inning to tie the game at 1. Carlos Gomez double homer run in the third, scoring Refsnyder. Another run came home in the fourth inning on the base hit by Adeiny Echeverria. Daniel Robertson crossing the plate, and Robertson scored again in the fifth when he singled with 2 outs, stole second, scored on the Brad Miller base hit. Boston with a run on the infield hit by Hanley Ramirez in the fifth made it 4-2. Yarborough got out of that inning, a 30-plus pitch inning. He has 64 pitches in the 3 innings he's worked, and we go to the 6th. Adeiny Echeverria facing the right-hander Hector Velasquez. A ball, no strikes, the count. Refsnyder next, and Duffy to hit third. Tap is foul. 1-1.
Well, that could have been a huge momentum swing inning. And Ryan Yarborough cutting right through the teeth of that Boston lineup. Almost got out of it without giving up a thing.
It's outside to Echeverria. 2-1. Eduardo Rodriguez started, and the Rays scored 3 off him in 3 2/3. Have the run off Velasquez last inning. It's 3-1. Headed to the shortstop. Bogarts throws a strike to first. Echeverria, the first out, now 1 for 3 in this game. We'll get Ref Snyder to the plate. Snyder turned a walk, a one-out walk, into a run in the third when he scored on the double by Gomez. Pitch is a strike. Thinking two. Quickly, Vasquez is way out in front. Out of play. We'll see another two-strike pitch. And he comes in with a fastball, ties him up a bit, and strikes out Ref Snyder.
Showing a little bit of velocity up in the zone. Pretty good pitch right here.
So for the Rays, a ground out and a strikeout, two gone with the bases empty. And we go to the top side of the order, Matt Duffy. Duffy with a two-hit day, a couple of infield hits. And the pitch is outside. That one is on the other side, off the plate in.
Well, both of these managers at this point in the ball game looking for effective innings from their middle relief. This game has had a lot of action in it, a lot of opportunity in it.
And it's a 3-0 count.
A lot of three-ball counts in it.
Yes, that is true indeed. And ball four. So on the 10th three-ball count drawn by Rays hitters today, Duffy draws a walk. So with two men out, Duffy is aboard at first, and the Red Sox will make a pitching change. Call to the bullpen. Brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Network for streaming baseball, because your stadium should be where you make it. Pitching change for Boston. We'll see the left-hander, Bobby Pointer, in the game now. Rodriguez for 3 2/3, Velasquez for 2. And with Kiermaier up, Pointer, the lefty, gets the call. That's 129 pitches in 5 2/3 for Boston pitching today.
Not at all tidy. And we talked about all the 3-ball counts, all the deep counts that we've seen.
Here's Kiermaier driving one deep into right center field. That's got some carry. It will low hop the wall back into the deepest part of the park. Duffy will score, coming all the way around from first and into third with a triple. Kevin Kiermaier to give the Rays another run. Kiermaier jumping on the first pitch, triples home Duffy.
I'll tell you what, the Rays doing some good work today with 2 outs. Fastball that's right down the middle. It doesn't have that elevation, and Kiermaier gets into it, gets it out there to the deepest part of the ballpark, and off he goes. And you know that he was thinking inside the park, and then gets held up here at third base, but good enough to drive home a run.
Rays now lead by 3 again, 5-2, and here's Carlos Gomez. Takes the pitch high. So that run charged to Velasquez. Rays got 3 off Rodriguez and 2 off Velasquez. Check swing, foul ball, 1-1. Cut and a miss at the fastball up. 1-2. Lays off a pitch high. 2-2. Gomez chases this one. The changeup. Rays settle for a run, leave a man, and have a 5-2 lead.
you go, out of the box. That ball smashed out into right center field. And you can see what he did from home to third in 11.42 seconds. And you can see right there, he still wasn't the top end speed, so he could even go lower. Right there, he turned it up. He could even go lower than that and already well ahead of the major league average.
So on to the bottom of the sixth we go. The first pitch to Bogaerts is a strike. Ryan Yarbrough has 3 innings under his belt. Kittredge worked 2 innings. Pitch is wide, and it's now 1-1. Rays hold a 5-2 lead. 1-2. Rays got Alvarado up in the bullpen. That's a liner caught at short by Echeverria. Bogaerts, who had lined a base hit into left in the second, lines out to the shortstop, Danny Echeverria, to begin the bottom of the sixth. Now Mitch Moreland, 0 for 2, a couple of fly ball outs, 1 to right and 1 to center. Pitch, first pitch strike. That's fouled right back, 0-2. Yarbrough all set. Pitch is upstairs, 1-2.
Oh, I like that idea. Everything from Yarbrough, for the most part, in his outing has been down, down, down. And right there, it takes an 0-2 shot up above the zone.
And a big cut and a miss. He gets Moreland.
Well, and he got him on a pitch that probably caught a little bit more plate than he would like, but it was set up by the fastball up in the zone. You change the eye level of Moreland, and all of a sudden he pulls off this, and he's able to sneak that little slider right by him.
So the young lefty, born in Lakeland, now faces Eduardo Nunez, trying to get the final out in the 6th inning.
Well, and a little bit more of a bounce in his step in this half inning. And he's also doing a great job of pounding the zone, something we haven't seen a whole lot of from either pitching staff today.
Shot into center field. Kiermaier is right there to take care of that one. And a 1-2-3 6th. On to the 7th with the Rays holding a 5-2 lead. Coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show is presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Chris Archer will open the series in Chicago tomorrow, and Doug will break down the White Sox slugger Jose Abreu. Brian Johnson enters the game, a left-hander out of the Red Sox bullpen.
Some good work down in South Florida. 6 strong innings, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts.
Not overpowering, that fastball averaging 87, 88. Standard assortment of pitches, and he's on to face C.J. Cron. And a big cut and a miss, strike 1. Takes that one upstairs. Breaking ball started him, then the fastball. And that fastball in at 87. Hot shot foul outside of third, 1 and 2.
And you can already get a sneak peek of what Brian Johnson features. You saw the breaking ball at the bottom of the zone, then a fastball up, then a fastball in. He's going to try to move his pitches all over the strike zone, keep these hitters guessing. That's what you have to do if you're not going to be overpowering. Change speeds and move the ball around.
1 and 2. Well, the Rays with 5 runs scored today, 3 of those coming with 2 outs. And Cron out on strikes.
Just continue to subtract. That curveball right there, 74 miles an hour. Out in front, over the top.
It's 10 strikeouts for Boston pitching. 1 away in the 7th. Here is Daniel Robertson. 2-hit day for Robertson. Scored twice, has a stolen base. Had a 2-out infield hit in the 5th, stole second, and scored on Brad Miller's base hit. Did he go? He checked on that pitch high. Johnson started him with the breaking ball, then missed with a high fastball. Find the outside corner to drop that one over and stayed away.
And did you see Christian Vasquez catch that ball in the webbing of his catcher's mitt, trying to keep his hand and wrist on the outside corner to get that call?
And a good take right there. 3 and 1.
Got to have the patience to force him into the zone.
Ball 4. Robertson draws the walk. 1 on, 1 out in the 7th inning. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Joey Wendell on to hit. Wendell facing the left-hander. The pitch is a strike. Hitting in the spot originally occupied by Brad Miller, who singled in a run in the 5th. Wonder what the situation is there with Miller. Foul ball back, 0-2.
get somebody on that, because that absolutely something going on there.
Backhanded first. Well, the only right-handed bat they had is Wilson Ramos, the other catcher. So Brad lifted here. Wendell bounces this one. That's a foul ball. Reaching across was Moreland to try to start a double play, but it was foul. Crone struck out, Robertson walked. The other extra men the Rays have on the bench, Alex Smith and Denard Span today. Fly ball lifted into left field. Martinez will go back, and that ball's going to be off the wall. Robertson hitting third. They're going to wave him home. Wendell goes into third base. The ball loose, and it almost went into the dugout, and that was Bogaerts who went in there to save it, to keep it out. That goes into the dugout. The Rays have another run as Wendell triples off the green monster in left in a pinch hitting roll, and the Rays pick up another run.
And how about J.D. Martinez completely misplaying that ball? You know, the green monster can be tricky to play. And what we saw J.D. Martinez do here is just get a little bit too close. I think he felt like he had to play the whole way, ends up too close to the wall before he realizes he can't make a play. And then that ball comes down off of him, rolls away. That allows an extra base for everybody. And then a heck of a job here by Bogaerts. That ball squirts out of the glove, and then who had actually hit the corner, and he came sliding by to keep it out.
Take a look at this. It hit the post right there to keep it out of the dugout. And now the Red Sox training staff out along with Alex Cora. So Robertson scores after drawing the walk on the pinch hit triple. The Rays make it 6-2. And Bogaerts was all over the infield and in foul territory.
Yeah, they're not going to mess around with this on a cold day early in the season and how hot he's been. Fortunate, you can see him favoring that left leg.
Yeah, that's not encouraging.
Everything looked okay. Obviously, he slides into the dugout, and that left foot maybe on the steps of the dugout.
So he's going to leave the game, and helped down into the dugout. So meanwhile, Robertson, who scored, has had a 2-for-3 day with 3 runs scored today. Brock Holt will enter the game to play shortstop, replacing Bogaerts. Rays have Sucre due to hit. The Red Sox outfielders trying to get the outfield squared away there after that triple. Pinch hit triple for Joey Wendell. That's batted in. Spread out today for the Rays. Kiermaier has 1, Gomez 1, Cron 1 on the home run. Miller and Wendell each have 1, and Echeverria has 1. Jesus Sucre due up here for the Rays. Gone back in there to stay warm and keep that bat warm too in front of the blower in there.
It's a good move. That thing nice and toasty and come out here and do something with it.
They've had some action in the Red Sox bullpen as well. And Alex Cora comes out with Sucre due up, and he's going to change pitchers. So out of all of this, we will get a new pitcher as well, and we'll return when we do. The dugout and touching that baseball that they might have a case, but the call is confirmed, and so the Rays get a run out of that. Wendell remains at third. Hembree the new pitcher, Sucre the hitter. The infield is in, and finally the pitch hits a strike, and that's pitch number 150 for Boston pitching today.
Well, clearly with Bogaerts, he did not survive the ground and was clearly out of bounds. So you could completely understand that call. What all happened right there? And by the way, what about the
fly ball into right? Betts not too deep to begin with, but he makes the catch and a tag. Wendell will score, and there's another run for the Rays. This one charged to the left-hander Johnson. Sucre picks up his first run batted in, and the Rays have a 2-run 7th and a 7-2 lead.
The pitching change by Alex Cora a little tardy too. That was a goofy whole deal right there.
Yeah.
Waited all that time for Brock Holt to get loose at shortstop after Bogaerts comes out of the game, and then the pitching change is made.
Yeah. And while all that was going on, slipped in a challenge.
Slipped in a challenge. All of a sudden, you see the umpires coming out of the Rays dugout, basically. Wondering what that's all about.
There's a strike to Echeverria.
Been one of those days, but it's been a good day so far for the Rays. They just continue to add on. They've now scored in, let's see, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 innings, 6 different innings. keeping the pressure on.
Down to third, Devens makes the play across the diamond. So the Rays are out in the top of the 7th, but they scored 2 runs, and they now lead 7-2. We head into the bottom of the 7th inning. Jose Alvarado is going to be the new pitcher. He follows Ryan Yarbrough, and a good job by the rookie lefty.
Well, Ryan Yarbrough came into the 3rd inning and got dicey for him in the 5th. But I'll tell you what, he made the big pitches. That may have been the biggest one of them all. A full count cutter, a fastball away to get Benintendi, and then after that, he went back out there, really found his groove. Worked the ball around the strike zone and ends up giving Kevin Cash what he needed, and now you can go to the 1 inning, hopefully close it out, guys. Jose Alvarado will be first up. He's on for the 5th time and 4 innings of work, 5 strikeouts. More importantly for him, no walks. You see right there, he's one of those guys, overpowering stuff. You always look for him to, what's the command going to be like? Because when he's able to spot up the fastball and the breaking ball, hitters don't have much of a chance.
So here's Devers, Rafael Devers, opening the bottom of the 7th inning. And the first pitch is low. There's Robertson now over at first base. Wendell stays on to play second with Miller lifted for the pinch hitter. A 1-1 count on Devers. 2-1. Two innings for Kittredge, 4 for Yarbrough. Yarbrough gave up a couple of hits, a run, struck out 3 and walked 3. count is full. And the 3-2 from the lefty. And that pitch is low. Leadoff walk here to Devers.
As soon as we bring up the fact that Alvarado has not walked anybody this season, he loses Devers on a fastball below the zone. And
now he faces Vasquez, the catcher. Vasquez lined a single into right in the 5th. He is 1 for 2. The pitch is a strike. Down to first. Robertson will make the play there. He looked to second base, but Devers moves up there, and a nice play by Robertson. Takes care of Vasquez unassisted.
yeah, that ball sharply hit. You know, he's close to the bag, obviously holding Devers on. You got to come off and be ready, and he hits a sharp 2-hopper down there. Some good glove work. You look to maybe make that throw, but you're right-handed thrower. You're throwing right into the running lane of Devers, and just not worth it with a 5-run lead taken out.
And that'll be the top of the order with Mookie Betts due up, and Alvarado wants to talk with Sucre. Devers down at second. Betts opened with a double his first time up, scored a run. He's chopped short and has walked. Pitch is upstairs. No ball, no strikes. Alvarado was in the game on Thursday for an inning. Picked up a couple strikeouts. This one off Sucre's mitt. Going to go to the backstop. And over to third goes Devers.
Yeah, think about 97 miles an hour, and it's on the other side of the plate. And that's going to force Sucre to try to get that glove over there as quickly as he can to glove it. And it just hits off the heel. Yank it in. Maybe right off the edge of the glove, but you're trying to get over to 97, 98. You don't have a whole lot of time. And that glove rolls over late, and it does go right off the end of
it. A 2-0 count. That's a strike. And for good measure, that one's in at 98. There's one more up the ladder.
He's got some serious juice.
Foul ball, squares it at 2-2. Yeah, you get a situation like that where Sucre trying to get that mid over there at 97. Technically, it'll be a pass ball, but that's a pitcher missing from one side of the plate to the other in the upper 90s. Two now. A popper, shallow center. Wendell goes out from second base. He'll make the catch and get the ball back toward the plate in a hurry, but Devers hit it back to third anyway. 2 outs in the 7th inning. That'll be Benintendi. Benintendi was grounded out, lined out, and struck out. Romo up in the bullpen for the Rays. Roller foul off Sucre.
Boy, that little foul tip caught Sucre just a little bit wrong. I don't know if maybe you get the thumb bent back. These catchers, they take a beating. When it hits the top of that glove and it'll rotate that wrist. The velocity behind the pitch and then the foul tip going right into the top of your hand.
So a 1 strike count on Benintendi.
Now make sure you frame this next pitch and just stick it right there on the corner.
Ground ball to first. Robertson will make the play unassisted. No runs, no hits, and a man left. We're headed into the 8th inning. 7-2 Tampa Bay. Sun is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By FDOT, drive sober or get pulled over. And by your local Honda dealer. Rays at Fenway. The Red Sox bring on their 6th pitcher of the day. Right-hander Carson Smith. The Rays got 3 off Eduardo Rodriguez, 2 off Hector Velasquez, and another 2 off Brian Johnson. Smith's on for the 5th time with 2 2/3 innings and an earned run average of 13.5. Rays will have Malik Smith come on to pinch hit. Smith will bat here in the 8th for Ref Snyder. Swing back around to the top of the order against Carson Smith.
We can start now.
Welcome back. Pitch is down 1-0.
Yeah,
not much has changed. Carson Smith is pitching.
Oh, there you go.
Malik Smith is pinch hitting, and we're 1 pitch into the 8th.
Thank you for bringing me up to speed.
Here's the 1-0 pitch about to be made. 1-1.
Had to step out.
I gotcha.
And quite the adventure.
Really?
I'll tell you all about it when this half's over.
All right. It's kind of an adventurous end to the 7th inning on that little ground ball by Benintendi to Robertson at first, who was waving off Alvarado.
Smartly.
Yep, but Alvarado just kept coming. And Robertson headed to the bag at first to make the play unassisted. Managed to avoid the big left-hander. Meanwhile, Malik Smith grounds out second. Nunez to Moreland. And Matt Duffy, who's been on each of the last 3 times at the plate, a couple of infield hits and a walk, officially 2 for 3 on the day. Strike 1. So a little wide, 1-1. The ground ball to short. Holt makes the play from shortstop. It'll be the second out.
You know, Carson Smith, you know, that late action on his pitches, we've seen him an awful lot here at the beginning of the season. Sidearm, late action, right there you get Duffy to roll over a little bit. And ground ball off to shortstop, and that's really the name of the game for Carson Smith. Strikeouts and ground balls.
And here's Kevin Kiermaier, who tripled in a run in the 6th inning.
And maybe that can get him going.
He's down 1-0.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
The offense has been spread out today. Kiermaier with a run batted in. Gomez 1, Crone 1. Miller and Wendell each with 1. Sucre 1, Echeverria 1. And down goes Kiermaier.
Boy, that on a day like today.
We'll take a look at him after that on this cold day. They're right off the top of that right foot.
Oh man. And these shoes have no protection on the top of them. They're thin, and that misses the protective padding for the inside of the ankle. And he popped that thing right off the meaty part of his foot.
Well, the temperature at game time was 39, and I don't know if it's gotten to 40 or not, but on a cold day, that hurts regardless of the temperature. And then on a cold day, it feels even worse. 38, it's actually dropped. Tomorrow's game in Chicago originally was scheduled to be a night game. That's going to be a day game now. All 3 of the games in Chicago a day game, and they moved that up because of bad weather. Finally on Wednesday, it's supposed to be in the mid-50s. It'll be a heat wave. Kiermaier reaching and missing. Now 1-2. There's the weather forecast for Chicago. AM snow, 38 is the high, then 44 Tuesday, 57 Wednesday.
At least we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. And then finally home. It'd be great to get back home.
Yes, it will.
Wide. So the count is full. At 79 at home, by the way. 7-9.
You're going to go there. You're going to do that right now.
And have a beautiful sunset into the Gulf. And a foul ball. So we'll see another 3-2 pitch. Another 3-2 pitch. And Kiermaier draws the walk, and down to first he goes. So 2-out walk. Well, the Rays had been retired only once in order today, and that was in the first when Rodriguez struck out the side. He struck out Duffy on a fastball, Kiermaier on a cutter, and Gomez on a change. Crone opened the second with a home run, and the Rays have had runners all over the bases in every inning since. And here's Carlos Gomez. Ground ball, base hit through the hole on the left side. Kiermaier heads up to second base. It's a 2-hit day for Gomez.
Well, what you were talking about, Dwayne, from the second inning on, they've scored in every inning too.
Yep.
Trying to keep that going. Let's check Kiermaier heading to second base, and you can see a little bit of a hobble there. That foot not feeling much better. Definitely favoring it.
Here's C.J. Crone. Foul ball, strike one. Swing and a foul ball back, 0-2. Rays have scored 3 off Rodriguez, 2 off Velasquez, and 2 off Johnson. Pointer and Embry have also pitched, and now Smith in the game. This one, did he go? He held up on a pitch in the dirt. 1-2. It's a 1-2 count as Smith now delivers. 2-2. Well, the injury to Bogart, we hear, was to his left ankle. They're taking a close look at that. Crone tried to check and did. So after getting down, he has worked the count full. 3-2. Angel Hernandez down at first, says he did not go. So with 2 outs, men at first and second, they'll be breaking on this 3-2 pitch. The Rays have scored in every inning except the first, and an opportunity with 2 outs to add on in the 8th, and there's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Kiermaier to third, Gomez up to second, Crone takes over at first. Daniel Robertson's going to be the hitter, and Carson Smith will get a visit. Got the first 2, but since has loaded the bases.
Now that's the kind of day it's been for this Red Sox pitching staff and this Rays offense. You got to give them a lot of credit too, because they have really held their feet to the fire, pressured them in each and every inning outside of the first, and trying to score in their 7th straight inning. I mean, it's been a sustained all-day effort here by the Rays hitters.
So after the conference with Dana Levangie, the pitching coach, Daniel Robertson prepares to step in against Carson Smith. Robertson has been on 3 times, has scored 3 runs, 2 hits, a walk, and a steal. And he takes a strike. Cut and a miss puts Robertson down 0-2. Robertson chased the slider there to run the count to 2 strikes. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off that pitch this time. Now it's wide, 2-2. Another shot out there. And Robertson would not chase it.
Are we going to get to 200 pitches?
Where were we? 150, and we weren't quite through the 7th. And a cut and a miss. Robertson missed the fastball. So the Rays leave them loaded. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 7-2 Tampa Bay. Inning at Fenway Park on to Chicago, and tomorrow afternoon it will be Chris Archer against Miguel Gonzalez. Blake Snell will go up against Carson Fulmer, and then the Rays another bullpen day set for Wednesday when the former Ray James Shields will pitch for the White Sox. All day games before the Rays get home for the weekend. Matt Andriese, the new pitcher here in the 8th for the Rays. And his first pitch is a bit wide. Hanley Ramirez leads it off for Boston. Kittredge for 2, Yarbrough for 4, and Alvarado an inning. And now it's Andriese. It's ball 2. Ramirez taking all the way. You can throw a strike. J.D. Martinez on deck, and then Brock Holt. Ground ball, that's just foul. 2-1. Alex Smith out there in left after pinch hitting for Ref Snyder. There he is, taking over. Ground ball, that's through the hole on the left side. Ramirez is aboard. So the Red Sox put the leadoff man on. They pick up their 5th hit of the game. But it's the 6th time they put the leadoff man on base in 8 innings.
Yeah, how about that? And Rays pitching has been able to keep him to just 2 runs, making the pitches when they need to, but you don't want to continue to flirt with that. This is a lineup that is built to be able to score runs in a hurry.
J.D. Martinez. And he was brought in to help facilitate that idea. He fouls the first pitch back for a strike. This one is fouled and catches part of Sucre.
Oh, I mean, think about the last half inning, the foul tip that really wrenched his wrist on his glove hand, and then he takes this. I mean, he just continued to get beat up at that position.
Well, all you can do is laugh. Thank goodness for that. Those 2 guys, plate umpire and the catcher, can often commiserate with each other. Oh, 2 count here on J.D. Martinez. A little tight with that fastball. And he's hitting 93. Ball, 2 strikes. Roller foul. Contact, staying alive up there at the plate. Two balls, 2 strikes. Andres, the 4th Rays pitcher. Fights this one off and fouls it. Pitch in the dirt, down to second base goes Ramirez, and the count is full on Martinez.
Got to make a pitch here. That one missed badly down in the zone, down below the zone into the dirt.
It's a wild pitch.
Right out in front of home plate and off of Sucre. Still nursing that wrist.
a foul ball. Martinez extending this at bat. 8 pitches in so far. It's Brock Holt on deck. Two again, and another foul ball bounding by Carlos Febles. So this is going to be at least a 10-pitch at bat for Martinez against Andres. And a cut and a miss. They got him reaching. 10 pitches in to that at bat, and finally the strikeout. One away with one on. Let's check in with Michelle.
Thanks, Dwayne. Well, one of the cool historic parts of Fenway Park is the Green Monster, in which case players and VIP guests can go in and sign. That's the manually operated scoreboard, and a couple of the Rays bullpen members did so yesterday. Here's a picture of Matt Andres and Austin Pruitt signing it. There's thousands of signatures in there going back decades, so certainly a cool opportunity for these guys who will now always have their mark inside the Green Monster, guys.
All right, thank you. Brock Holt taking the first pitch for a strike. Did you ever find yourself inside the Green Monster?
I did. I did.
Sign it?
I did. I probably never find it.
Every once in a while they paint that in there.
Well, then there you go. There's a good chance it's been painted over. So it's layered up in there somewhere.
One ball, one strike to count.
I figured if you're going to give enough balls that fly over it, you should at least be able to sign it.
Inside.
That's it.
High pop fly. Alex Smith in left center makes the catch. So 2 outs. Good to see Andres after giving up that base hit and a wild pitch in the extended at bat with J.D. Martinez get him on strikes. 10 pitches in. Now the out recorded of Holt. And here is Mitch Moreland. Moreland a couple fly balls, one to right, one to center. Struck out swinging in the 6th. The pitch is a strike. Runners on base all over the place today. Rays down 1-2-3 in the first, but runners in every inning since then. And only twice have the Red Sox gone down 1-2-3 in the 3rd and again in the 6th. It's fouled back a 3rd and into the stands. Nice grab right there. A lot of activity in the stands there, and that includes that great catch.
Well, there has to be. You've got to stay warm, move. It's bright here. You can get your shades on, make nice plays.
And Moreland just a little piece of that one, a foul straight back. There's 2-strike count.
You know, I went down through the stands here. It must have been last year. At some point last year, went down and had never been out there. Yeah, on the field and up here, but never in the. Could not get over. Those seats are on top of each other.
They are.
I mean, it's intimate down there. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, they're close together. The aisles are friendly in that sense. 1 and 2.
Good date night.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they've replaced some of them, but the old ones were very, very small.
The seats?
People were just not quite as large then as they are today.
You ever been to the Green Dragon?
I can't say that I have. Smith is going to go back to the wall. That's going to be off the wall. That will score Ramirez. And Moreland picks up his first hit of the year, a double off the Green Monster. And it's 7-3. They don't want them to get any closer, really, because as we know in this ballpark, things can happen in a hurry.
Question about it. And here's Moreland getting a pitch down and out over the plate. And you just lift it into left field, and you've got a good chance of getting it off that monster, which is exactly what he does. Malik Smith runs out of room. They trade places. They pull to within 4, and you've got the top of the order that's going to, lurking here. They're going to get their chance in the 9th, but you want to end it right here.
There's Eduardo Nunez.
Yeah, what I meant by asking you that some of these older structures, the doorway lets you know. You're almost ducking your head to walk through some of these doorways.
Yep. Cozy.
Very.
Well, Nunez has scored one of the runs. He led off the 5th with a walk and has scored. Pitch inside. 2 outs with a man at second base. And a strike in there. 1-1. 1 run off Kittredge, 1 off Yarbrough, and now 1 off Andriese. That's strike 2. Nunez came into the game hitting .258. Lines it into center. That's a base hit. They will stop Moreland at third, and now it's first and third with 2 outs. Nunez behind in the count. Singles into center.
Well, did a nice job of staying up the middle and hit that ball so hard that even with 2 outs, no chance to score this run. That ball was sizzled, but got out to Kiermaier quickly. He's got a strong and accurate arm, so there's no way you're going to challenge him. But the inning continues.
No upside in the Red Sox trying to send Moreland there. So they're first and third with 2 gone. And the Rays will have a conference on the mound. Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach, out there with the infield gathered around. Well, the hitter is going to be Rafael Devers, and Alex Colomé gets up in the Rays bullpen now. Devers 0 for 2. He walked in the 7th inning. Reese takes a strike. toward the corner. Moreland will score. Nunez on his way to third. They're going to wave him around. Smith had trouble getting the ball out down there, and 2-run score with Devers pulling up at second.
You know, you couldn't see it from our vantage point up here, but definitely Malak Smith struggling to get that ball back into the infield, and that cost the Rays another run. Devers right here just shoots this ball the other way. We talked about how they played him, pulled him around, and he had the left field line wide open. There he goes. Ball bouncing around. And Alex had to chase that thing back in. All sorts of impediments down there.
And with that, Nunez scored all the way from first. Suddenly it's 7-5, which means on the double by Devers, Vasquez will come to the plate. He'll represent the potential tying run. And here comes Kevin Cash. That's going to be it for Andres. Well, he got 2 outs with a man on, but 3 consecutive hits. And we have a call to the bullpen, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Alex Colomé here in the 8th inning with 2 outs and 3 runs in. He will inherit a runner. Thursday is part of the comeback by Boston. He was touched for 2 runs, 4 hits in the 9th inning. Made 29 pitches and called upon here to get the last out in the 8th. Trying to preserve things so that he'll try to close this thing out eventually. Trying to close out the 8th first. Now Vasquez singled in the 5th inning. He is 1 for 3. The Red Sox with 3 home in the 8th and a man at second. The pitch to Vasquez. He takes it low. In the mid-90s there.
Well, what Boston was able to do against Colomé in that previous outing, Dwayne, that you were talking about, was going after that cutter. It was a steady diet of cutters, and they were able to go down and get that pitch and hurt him. And so you see him here, at least in the early going, showing him the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And he picks up a strike on the outside corner. 1.
Now, you may want to get the guys out with the cutter, but you got to at least show them the fastball. That'll make that pitch more effective.
We have 2 big arms out there right now in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Kelly and Kimbrel. Foul right back. 1-2.
We got this cutter up and got away with it.
A ball, 2 strikes. Vasquez, the 7th Boston hitter in the 8th inning. This one cued off the end of the bat. Well, a large part of this crowd of just under 32,000 departing early, but the ones who are left are noisy enough. Again, the 1-2 from Colomé about to be made. Here we go. And a foul ball again. So the battle continues.
You saw Sucre, the way that he threw that ball back to Colomé, letting him know, like what he did with that pitch. Didn't work out, but 95 in, and that forces Vasquez with a quick swing, and now that opens up that outer half for the cutter.
And with a 1-2 count, he's got some room to work.
Yeah, you don't have to be perfect with it, but that fastball in sets it up very well.
On 2, and a base hit into center field. That will score Devers. Vasquez on a 1-2 pitch singles, and now it's a 1-run ball game. Vasquez picking up his 2nd hit.
Well, and he had him set up for the pitch. He went with the pitch, and it was not a bad pitch. It was just a case of, I think, Vasquez thinking right along with us. Here comes the cutter down and away, and he went down and got it. That's not a bad pitch at all, but that tells you that's what he was sitting on.
So a 1-run game now. 4 runs charged to Andres. And here is Mookie Betts. And this one off the mitt. And down to second base goes Vasquez. It's a wild pitch going to be charged to Colomé.
That gets that obvious tying run out into scoring position. You weren't going to be worried about Vasquez trying to pick up a bag on the stolen base, but that ball gets yanked down and away and off the glove of Sucre. Gets him out to second.
Pitch taken down. 2-0. Tindy on deck. 2 outs. Runner at second. 2-0 the count on Betts. Liner into left. That's a base hit. Alex Smith with the pickup. Throw will come to the plate, and he is safe. He got the plate. Vasquez scores, and on that play, Betts goes to second. And the game is tied at 7. Betts singles home the tying run, goes to second as the run came through.
Now that pitch stays up, and Betts with those quick hands pulls him through. Base hit to Malix. Malix gets this throw to the plate, but look at Vasquez just sneak in there with the right hand just ahead of the throw. Unbelievable.
Now Betts at second base. Benintendi, the hitter. Pitch is a strike. Benintendi 0 for 4. One. A 5-run eighth here for Boston. High fly ball, left center field. That ball's still going, and Malix Smith cannot catch it in front of the scoreboard. The go-ahead run will score. Into second goes Benintendi. And Boston takes an 8-7 lead.
And you know what? It looked like Malix Smith, had to go a long way, but it looked like a play that he should have made. He got there in time. That ball I don't think it hit the monster on the fly. Got back there, had trouble finding it and tracking it down. Benintendi with some good lift out there to left center field. And you're going to see Malix go back. Looked like he's going to play it off the wall. He just missed it. Just missed it. Pulled away from it. Discombobulated out there, and that's costly. And how about the Red Sox come all the way back?
Now it's 8-7. There's a swing and a miss by Ramirez, who started this inning with a base hit. The 10th man to hit in the 8th for Boston. Sox with 6 in the 8th. It's now 1-2. Big cut by Ramirez. Four runs charged to Andres, 2 to Colomé. Back.
6 straight hits with 2 outs. I mean, at one point there were 2 outs, the runner on first, and that was it. 7-2 lead. Couple of hits. Talked about the fact you better stop the bleeding now with the top of the order lurking. Well, they weren't able to do so, and that top of the order is now giving them the lead.
Yeah, they had 4 hits all day. Now 7 in this inning. 6 in a row, all with 2 outs. And a swing and a miss. Ramirez strikes out. But Boston scores 6. Betts drives in the tying run with a base hit to left. To second on the throw through. Benintendi gets one that Malix Smith had a big problem with in left, and that scored Betts. 8-7 Boston. 8-7 Boston going into the 9th inning. Rays have had 7 different players with RBIs, and Boston, if you count the fielder's choice in the first, it was the second out of the inning, which drove in a run. All of their runs have scored with 2 outs, including 6 in the 8th. Greg Kimbrell on this cold afternoon comes in to work the 9th inning, and Joey Wendell leads off here in the 9th, with the Rays now down by a run. And the pitch is a strike. Rays have stranded 10 men. 7 left on for Boston. And a foul out of play. 0-2. One is popped up to the left side. It's Devers there to make the catch. And that's the first out of the 9th inning against Kimbrell.
The man of the hour, though, strides to the plate.
Well, Sucre is going to be lifted, and Denard Span will pinch hit for him.
6 for 22 on the season, but he has had a number of big hits for the Rays, and they need one now.
The pitch is outside, 1-0. Shoots it foul into the seats up the right side. And it's 1-1.
Get visions of something wrapping around that pesky pole.
Oh boy, the Rays are going to need something miraculous.
Their struggles against Craig Kimbrell.
Down 1-2.
Yeah, the high octane fastball and a snappy hook, and he backdoors it.
Shot the fastball out there this time. Just missed a little low away at 97.
Definitely catches the plate, but below the zone.
Two, and it's popped up. Devers on the left side after this one. 2 gone. Well, the Rays down to their final out. So they are 1 out away from really a stunning loss here. Hoping to break a 7-game losing streak, and to build this lead and give up 6 with 2 outs in the 8th to trail 8-7. And here is Echeverria. This one is down. Echeverria singled in a run in the 4th. Rays have had 7 different hitters driving in runs. The Red Sox have had 6 different men. They scored 6 with 2 outs in the 8th. Two balls, no strikes. Foul back, 1-2.
Rick Kimball trying to keep the fastball thus far away from Echeverria, understanding that in this situation, Adaney probably looking to jump him, try to get something on the inner half, something out over the plate that he can turn. He's shown an increase of power since coming over to the Rays last season.
And a ground ball deep short, backhanded by Holt. Throw to first is in time, and this one is over. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays in the 9th. And the Red Sox have taken this series from the Rays. They score 6 with 2 outs in the 8th and hand the Rays a very disheartening loss here. It's 8-7 the final.